All right, let's jump right into it. We've got a question for you today, and it's a big one that's popping up more and more. Imagine you're completely lost in a fantastic story. Does it really matter if the author is a person or a program?
Yeah, check out this quote. It's from a writer who goes by the AI granddad. And man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? He talks about watching people get genuinely emotional reading his stories, but then their whole expression changes when he tells them a machine helped write it. That's the weird, fascinating new world we're talking about today.
Okay, so let's break this down. Think about it. When you first crack open a book or start a new article, what really pulls you in? I mean, sure, you might glance at the author's name, but that's not what makes you stay, right? That's not the hook.
Nope, it's this stuff. Do the words actually hit home? Do you feel something? Anything? And the big one, do you need to know what happens next? It's all about the story itself, the characters, the vibe, the laughs, the gut punches. As long as that's working, the question of who wrote this, well, it pretty much disappears. The magic is right there on the page.
But, and this is where it gets super interesting, just because we don't think about the author in the moment doesn't mean we don't care. Not at all. There's this massive gap between what we say we value and what we actually do.
And get this, some data from the Pew Research Center just lays this contradiction out perfectly. On the one side, you've got this huge chunk of people, a massive majority, saying, yeah, it's absolutely crucial to know if AI wrote this. I mean, look at that, 76%. That's a huge number. It tells you we really, really care about human creativity, about that feeling of authenticity. But then you look at the other side of the coin, and more than half of us, 53%, are basically throwing up our hands and saying, honestly, I'm not sure I could even tell. So we want to know. We say it's important, but in reality, the lines are getting so blurry, most of us can't even see them anymore. Which brings us right back to what the AI granddad was talking about, that moment of truth. What actually happens in your brain when you're loving a story, totally invested, and then someone tells you a machine wrote it? Well, everything changes. So, before that reveal, the reaction is totally pure, right? It's all about the story. People are talking about the characters, the tone, how it made them laugh or feel sad. They're connecting to it. The feelings are real. And then, bam, you pull back the curtain. You tell them that the author wasn't a person who's lived a life and felt these things. It was an algorithm. It's almost like a magician showing you how the trick is done. For a lot of people, the wonder just, poof, it's gone. And just like that, the very same words, the same sentences get a whole new label. Now it's less authentic. It's lacking a soul. But why? The words didn't change. It's because we feel like art is supposed to be a connection to another human being, their struggles, their joys, their messy life. And when you find out it's a machine, that connection feels broken. So what is that? What's really going on with that feeling? Why does it feel like a little bit of a betrayal? Well, it goes deeper than just this one story. This reaction, it's plugged into some of our biggest fears about what AI could mean for, well, for being human. And this really brings it home. That same research found that more than half of us worry AI will hurt our creative thinking, and almost the same number worry it will harm our ability to form meaningful relationships. And what are those two things? They're the absolute core of what makes a great story. So it's no surprise we get a little defensive about it. But not everyone sees it this way.
In fact, if you look closer, you start to see a really clear pattern. It seems like our whole attitude about this stuff is changing, and a big part of it is just how old you are. Yeah, the perspective is definitely shifting. Think about it. Younger people have grown up with Spotify telling them what to listen to next, or Netflix picking their next binge watch. For them, AI isn't some scary unknown. It can be just another creative tool in the toolbox, Kind of like a new filter on Instagram or a cool synthesizer in a song. They're way more focused on, is the end result cool, not where did it come from? It's a classic story, really. What's weird for one generation is totally normal for the next. So, what if we're asking the wrong question entirely? Maybe this whole human versus machine thing is a dead end. What if we need to reframe how we think about all of this? What if the only thing that matters is impact? I mean, a story's job is to make us feel something, right?
to make us laugh or think or remember something we forgot. If a story does that, if it lands and feels true in that moment, does it really matter who or what wrote it? Does that label really cancel out the feeling you just had?
But look, it's not that simple, is it? We all know there's something precious about the human touch. It's knowing that behind the words is a person who's actually lived, who has memories, who's had their heart broken. It's the little imperfections, the pauses, the wisdom that only comes from real experience. And let's be honest, for now anyway, an algorithm just can't fake that. Not really.
So that's where we'll leave it, with a question aimed right at you. Let's say a story made you cry or laugh so hard your stomach hurt. Would that feeling, that genuine emotion, vanish the second you found out it was written by an AI? Seriously, think about it. Where do you land on this? Thanks for exploring this with us.